How you doing? My name's Richard. It's that time of the week again. It is Friday evening. It is time, of course, for the Arsenal Women's Show. A lot of stuff gone on this last week or so, as always, with the Arsenal women. And, you know, the men might not be playing at the minute, but the women certainly are. There's a really big game tomorrow. We'll look ahead to that. We'll look back on last week's FA Cup match as well. And also, this time next week, we'll all be getting prepared for what will be the biggest game of the season in the WSL. So we'll talk about that as well, all coming up the other side of this. So the Arsenal Women's Show back again for another week. I think this is 16th or 17th one we've done. It seems to come around quick each week, actually. It doesn't seem like 5 minutes ago we were here last week looking forward to an FA Cup game. Andreas, good to have you back. You had a good week?
Yeah, a very busy week at work, and now I'm prepared for a busy football weekend.
Yes, it's looking that way. Good stuff coming up. I'm sure this weekend is going to be fun. And Matt, as well, you had a good week?
Yeah, it's been quite good. I'm looking forward to it. We've had a lot of stuff that we're probably going to cover tonight, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, it should be good. And Amar as well, a little bit more light tonight. Are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. All good, thanks.
Good.
I thought I threw my darting nickname in there, but that's not really me.
No, maybe not. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, I suppose there's only one place we should really start this week. Looking back, last weekend the FA Cup run started. Of course, an FA Cup run last season took us all the way to the final. We're hoping for a similar outcome this time. But first of all, we had to get past a London rival. Personally, I thought this was quite a strange game, actually. We didn't maybe win as comfortably as we perhaps should have done. I thought we played pretty well. We had quite a few opportunities. We could have scored a few more goals. Took us a long time to get the one that we did. A good goal, well worked goal, well played by Kim Little in the build-up, and then lovely finish from Vivu. Clearly wasn't quite with it in the game again, but she took the goal well. But in the second half, I don't know, I thought we lost our way a little bit. We didn't really create too many chances, and in the end, we kind of stumbled through, really, I suppose, rather than going through in the kind of style that we maybe hoped for. But ultimately, in the FA Cup, the only thing that matters is getting through to the next round. We're in the draw. We got through. We'll talk about the draw as well. But Andreas, what did you make of the performance overall? Because it was a bit of an in and out performance, wasn't it, overall, I think, if we're honest?
It was a knockout match, and as we said, the only thing that counts is that we are through to the next round. The first half was okay, and when we've scored, I thought, oh well, this is the opener for more goals, and now we will win. We will have a decent win. But then it looked as if everybody was satisfied with having the lead, and of course there was no danger that we could lose the match, or I think there was no real chance for the Lionesses to score. But well, the second half wasn't what we have expected. So at the end, it was we are through and okay. Yeah, nothing more than okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, ultimately, the result's what matters in the cup. Well, in any game at the minute, the result matters. I'll take 1-0s every single week from now till the end of the season. That will do me. But I was a little bit frustrated with the way that we played in the second half. I thought the first half we did okay, didn't we? We scored the goal. We could have had a couple more, and that would have probably set us up then. And in the second half, it became a bit more of a struggle. I suppose we had played Thursday night. Maybe a bit of tiredness with some of the players. Maybe crept in a little bit, perhaps. So yeah, that was a little bit frustrating. Obviously, a few players were rested as well from the starting lineup, which was probably the right decision, I felt, in the circumstances, and it proved to be a good decision because we won. I mean, Matt, what did you make of the Lionesses' performance and against the Lionesses? It wasn't the free-flowing football that we may have hoped to see.
Yeah, I will apologise because I believe I said they were fourth in the league when actually they were second in the championship. So I will apologise for that if anyone was listening and so for that. But this is the sort of teams that you would expect because they're pushing for promotion, see what they can do, and see how they can handle the WSL. it's also a chance for some of those players to look at themselves and maybe perhaps chuck themselves into the hat for a transfer for the next season towards the other clubs. But it was a good game. I'm not going to lie. Although Arsenal had most of the shots, I think I'm looking on the BBC, it says that they had 17 shots and 10 on target. But it felt like it was comfortable, but at the same time, very uncomfortable, very un-Arsenal-like. But as everyone has said already, 1-0 sees you through to the next round, and it's what keeps you happy. You keep going in these cup runs, trying to get the silverware. Jonas will be on the hunt, trying to get back to Wembley, trying to right wrongs. I'm sure he's not the only one in that group that wants that as well. So good to see.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately in the cup, I mean, last season we won the first 2 rounds, scored 19 goals and didn't concede any. And in the end, we didn't win the cup, did we? So it meant nothing ultimately. We got to the final, but we lost. This year, if we win every round 1-0 and we win the final 1-0, that'll be a better result, won't it? So it doesn't matter that we didn't win more comfortably. Ultimately, yes, I think we're all maybe expected maybe a few more goals and expected a better performance. So it was frustrating. But I mean, Emma, what did you make of it overall? I mean, it's just good to be through to the next round, isn't it? And I think that's the main thing to come out of it. Perhaps the only real positive, because Viv didn't look too clever, did she, most of that game? She had to go off early second half as well.
Yeah, I must admit, I only caught a bit of the highlights because I was out. But when I saw, we did have plenty of chances to score more goals. But I think it was a pleasing aspect, considering we've been a bit shaky at the back, was that we didn't concede. And it's a welcome return to the solidity that we like to see at the back from the girls. And I suppose getting through, because maybe Sensei or Ludden are feeling a little bit leggy after the effort they put in the second half against Brighton. So I mean, in a way, they didn't have a shot on target. It's a team that was doing well in the second tier, and what matters is that we're through, and we didn't concede a goal.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really look like conceding a goal, if we're totally honest. And I think maybe that highlights a little bit for me the gap still between the top tier of women's football and the second tier. Because, Lionesses, as we've said, as Matt rightly pointed out, they're second in the league. They're a decent side in that division. They're winning a lot of games, and yet they didn't really look ready to play in the WSL, did they, overall in that game? They had 1 or 2 decent performances. The goalkeeper in particular, I thought, looked good, to be fair. But you can see the gap, between the 2 divisions. You can see why teams that come up tend to struggle when they come up again, and you can see that's probably going to happen again. But yeah, I mean, it was a good win to get through. I mean, I wanted to highlight a couple of players actually. I mean, Andreas, what did you make of Simone Boy? Because I know she wasn't put under pressure, but I thought that was her best game for Arsenal at the back. I thought she looked really comfortable, solid. She anticipated things well, and that for me was her best performance. Did you think she played well?
Yes, of course. But don't forget that it was a weaker opponent. You can't take out of this match and say she would play the same confidence and against City or United or Chelsea. But of course, for her, it was important to have the minutes under her belt and to have a solid performance. She had a bad start with injuries, and when she came back, slight injury again, and then a bad performance. So it's difficult to settle in a new league with a new team with such a difficult start. So yes, it was her best performance, and of course I'm happy for her because I know how good she can play. But she needs confidence. She needs to feel settled in the team, and maybe this match will help.
Yeah, that's the hope, isn't it? I mean, I think there was an opportunity for her, obviously, to get a start in a game that she wasn't going to be tested massively defensively, which I think was important. But I just like the way that she sort of read the game. She was the leader at the back in that game for us, I felt. Maybe taking on the role of Leah to a certain degree in that team, in that performance. So that was good to see. And yes, I agree. The quality of the opposition has to be taken into account. She's going to face a lot better opposition than that if she plays any more games this season. But ultimately, she stepped into the game. You can only play what's in front of her. And I thought she looked really, really good. And it was good to see because I've been a little bit unsure about her overall. I know you've always been very supportive of her. You always say how good she can be. And I have not really seen it enough yet. We hasn't played enough, probably, actually. So that's one of the reasons. But you could see that, she's a good player. You could see that on Sunday, I felt, the way that she played that game. So, yeah, massive credit to her. And I think the other player I want to talk about was Viv as well, because she clearly wasn't well, was she? Against Brighton, she looked like she was struggling. She had to have painkillers. She struggled through that game against the Lionesses, and then of course she did get the goal. I mean, Matt, what have you been making of Viv? Because she doesn't look quite herself, does she, at the moment, for one reason or another? Not just her form on the pitch either. Just she doesn't seem to look herself, does she?
No, but this is the one thing that I was kind of thinking about a lot over the past week, was the fact that when she went down twice, once against once against Brighton, and then she kept on going down a couple of times against London City. So I was curious whether or not she's playing through pain. A couple of times this season, I've said she's had mental fatigue. She needs a holiday. She needs rest. I don't know what's going on. I just wonder if she's got some sort of issue, and the doctors are aware of it, but the fans aren't aware of it. I think I want to go back to Jem Beattie's post on Instagram. I don't know if anyone saw it, but he said Viv basically said Viv had to ask who scored in the first half.
Really?
So
Yes.
Wow. I didn't see that.
It is kind of worrying. I don't know if it's too many balls whipped in by Katie McKay, and that's what's causing it. But I don't know. I honestly don't know what we can say. We can only speculate. I know she said that she's been to see a psychologist, and she's been quite open on that when she did her article a couple of weeks. Was that a week ago? Something like that.
A week or so ago. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
So she is quite open with these sort of things. But if it's something behind the scenes, like something that's still niggling at her, then I don't know what we can do. I think we can only best do is to cheer her on, and just to make sure that she's feeling all right. If she's not feeling 100%, just keep trying to make her cheer her on.
Yeah, I mean, I know obviously what you said. Obviously, the post that Jem Beattie put, obviously she put about it was a migraine that she'd had, and then Jonas mentioned that as well, didn't he, in his comments after the game, that would have been a problem. And it seems to have been that he said the same for the Thursday game against Brighton. And I mean, I suffer from migraines myself, and I kind of felt something like that when she was on the pitch on Sunday during the game, and she was going down, she's holding her eyes and stuff like that, wasn't she? So, you know, that kind of makes sense. And maybe that's what she's suffering from.
You made a really good point as well, if I remember, about the contact lenses. I wonder if she's going to have to stop wearing contact lenses and go and wear sports goggles instead now.
Yeah, but maybe it did look as though there was some sort of issue with that going on with her. But I mean, ultimately, you know, it's important that I agree with what you said. We need to support, especially at the moment, because there's a lot going on in her mind as well with the possible contract issue and everything else that's going on. And you know, she isn't playing as well as we know she can. I don't think it's not wrong to say that she's not been playing as well as she has. She's not scored as many goals in the last 10 games maybe than we would have expected her to have done. So she's under a little bit of pressure for her place in the team now, obviously with Stina coming in as well. So maybe this might give her a little bit more of a lift as well, having a great player like that coming into the squad. I mean, Emma, what did you make of all of this? I mean, with Viv, I mean, she's clearly not herself in what one way or the other. Whether it's a health issue, as we've said, or mentally she's not quite right because of her contracts. It's a little bit worrying, isn't it, at the moment, how things are going for her?
Yeah, I mean, I was just thinking about the exact same thing. Actually, is that the fact that she's been linked with all these moves away, and whether Arsenal is the permanent destination for her in the future, maybe playing a part in the fact that I would say it's messing about with her mind or whatever, but it does seem to be affecting her performances a bit on the pitch. She's not the same ruthless player that we've been accustomed to, gotten to know and love over the last 5 years. I suppose it is what it is, and hopefully these 2 games that we've got, big games upcoming, she can give it her all, and and then we'll get a well-earned 2-week rest after that. Well, I don't think they're playing any internationals unless I'm mistaken, but hopefully that break will do a rest and she'll come back refreshed. But let's see what happens. Hopefully she can just continue to give her all for these next 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a big week, isn't it, for the Arsenal women? These two big games, and these are the games where your big players need to step up. And Viv's one of those players that she's done that plenty of times in the past. I'm sure she'll be up for these two games. We've got a comment in the chat there from S77 official, says, "Hi Gunners from Mombasa in Kenya." That's a long way. Thanks for tuning in. He says, "Under Jonas Eineveld, we don't play ruthless football like under Joe." He says, "I hope for a win against United tomorrow." Yeah, I mean, I understand that. I mean, I was actually thinking that the other day. I know, the football got a little bit stale under Joe and stuff like that, but there were, we did score a lot more goals than we seem to be at the moment, didn't we? Like, this was a sort of game under Joe, we would have probably won 6 or 7-0, wouldn't we? We would have maybe done that, and this time we didn't, and we've been struggling a little bit for goals. I think it's a different style of football we're playing, and I think overall it's going to lead to more success long term, and it's maybe adjusting to that a little bit. But yeah, I agree to a certain extent. I do think that Joe's team maybe would have scored a few more goals in that game, possibly. Terry's in the chat as well. Doing Terry, thanks for tuning in, mate. He says, "Good evening, Richard, Andreas. Nice to see you played the electricity." And MMM77. Hope you lot are doing well. Yeah, we're doing great this week. It's been a decent week because Arsenal men didn't play. Ryan's in the chat as well. How doing, Ryan? Thanks for tuning in, mate, as well. Good to see you all. So yeah, as we just mentioned there, actually, it is a very, very big week for the Arsenal women, isn't it? Two massive games, and it could be. Well, I believe these two games are going to be the deciding factor in the WSL season. Obviously, the title race. These two games are pivotal. So obviously, starts tomorrow, early kickoff tomorrow lunchtime. A really, really important game. So why not look ahead to that? Obviously, it's the third time we will be playing United this season. We've played them twice already. Mixed results. We won well away from home in the league in November, game that Matt was at, of course. We won 2-0. Good performance that was. And then disappointingly, a couple of weeks ago in the League Cup, the Continental Cup, we lost 1-0, of course, didn't we, at Meadow Park? A late goal it was from Russo in that game. So not a great result last time out, but that's the first time they've ever won away at Meadow Park. They've never won in the league at our ground. So, these are good signs that we want to focus on. But it's going to obviously be a tough game. I think maybe what goes in our favour a little bit, the fact they had a very tough game themselves in the Cup, didn't they, on Wednesday night against Chelsea. It was a good game. Yeah. I watched bits of that. I know Andreas watched it as well. It was a good game. So that would have taken a lot out of them, I think. And maybe that might be a factor. We looked tired last weekend because we played midweek. We've had a week off. Hopefully we'll be more refreshed. A few players back in who have maybe been struggling with injuries the last couple of weeks. And maybe we can put in a good performance. I mean, Andreas, what are you expecting from this game? I mean, we know how good United have been playing. They was on a great run until the Chelsea game. And even then they gave it a good go, didn't they? They played well against Chelsea.
Yes, of course, it will be a very tough one. And during this week, I took the chance to watch all our 4 major opponents, Chelsea versus United and then City versus Tottenham. And I have to say that the Chelsea versus United match was a really good one. And although it was 3-1, it sounds as if it was without problems, but United made a strong impression on me. And even after Chelsea was 2-0 ahead, and they immediately scored and got one back. So, and after the third one from Chelsea, there were few chances for United that they got one back. So it was not decided. The match was open, although Chelsea was 2 goals ahead. United really impressed me. They seem to be dangerous in attacking, and of course they made some mistakes in the defense, but it's difficult to defend players like Pernille Harder or Jessie Fleming, Guro Reiten, especially Pernille Harder. The first goal was fantastic, and nobody would like to defend her when she's coming with this pace. But the goalkeeper from United got the red card in the second half, but it was only the second goalkeeper from them, so Mary Earps will play.
Probably.
She's the regular number 1, and due to absence of Ellie Roebuck, she was number 1 of the Lionesses too.
Yes.
I think it will be a very hard and tough game, similar to what we saw in the League Cup. maybe one goal will decide again, and hopefully we will be the lucky side to score this late goal. Or of course, we would all prefer to score in the first half. I don't see many goals coming, and
No.
it will be a tough one.
Yeah, no, it will. And I mean, I think one of the big things was, as Jonas said a couple of weeks ago, that we needed to improve our results against the better teams. And obviously United are one of the form teams in the league at this moment in time. So it is going to be a very tough game. We know it is. Ryan in the chat there says chance for redemption tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah, we can get redemption for that cup defeat where I'm sure we'll have a slightly stronger side, I think, tomorrow with the players that we've made a few signings since we played them last time as well, and I think we'll be a little bit stronger in our team selection, and I'm hoping that we'll produce a better performance. I think we'll have to because since we won away actually at United, that's since in those sort of 7 or 8 games since then they played really well. I mean, Matt, obviously you was at that game away at Man United when we won that game. We played pretty well. We're going to have to probably play better than that, though, aren't we now? Because I think United are in better form now than they were coming into that game.
Well, when I looked back, I did have a chance to watch the United-Chelsea game as well, but I thought they looked really out of shape. Basically, Herder and Fleming tore the United defence apart. I will say, though, congratulations to the Man United goalkeeper because it was a hell of a good challenge on Sam Kerr.
It was.
And then Mark Skinner did turn around and say that because of suspensions, this, that, and the other, that he complained basically because Chelsea hadn't had as many WSL games or played the same amount as everyone else, that they were left short. So perhaps that's going to be the issue, is that they're going to have players back and they're going to want to be fully on this now, for sure. If we always end up with a tight game, I mean, I think that 2-0 win is the most that we've ever. Again, I think we actually beat them 2-0.
Last season.
Last season.
Yeah, that was a good performance.
Lotta and Lee scored, didn't they? So
it was an OG, I think, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was given as an own goal. Yeah.
Was it?
Wasn't it? Yeah.
So hopefully, Terry's made if we can be a little bit more clinical and maybe be more decisive and have a few more shots, you never know. Last time the sun was in Mary's eyes and she couldn't defend the goal. I don't know why they don't decide to wear hats. I've asked people when I do my writing, and they don't seem to be maybe that it's just a style choice, that they don't think it's a fancy thing to do. But perhaps we might have some luck tomorrow on our side. This will be a confidence booster if we can go into this game and get a result. If it's a 1-0 or a 2-1 or something like that, that'll be. I think everyone would take that with a pinch of salt.
No, exactly. Yeah, I'll say, we may be a little bit disappointed with 1-0 last week to a degree, but we certainly wouldn't be disappointed with a 1-0 this week, would we? Without a shadow of a doubt, in a very, very tough game as we know it's going to be. I mean, Emma, what are you expecting from this game? I mean, we're going to have to play, I think, better than we have done recently, because we're still not. I know the Brighton performance in the second half was good, but overall we haven't been playing as well, have we? Since before the FA Cup final, probably, when if you look at it, all those performances since. I know we did win the last 2 games, but we're not playing as well, are we? And we're going to have to play much better tomorrow. Right? If we're going to win that game tomorrow, we're going to have to play a lot better. Do you think we're going to be able to do that, bearing in mind the form we're in at this moment?
There's no question we'll have to play better. I mean, if we play like we did in the first half against Brighton, I mean, then we could find ourselves really struggling to get anything out of that game. As for whether we're capable of playing better, I think the girls have done well. I think we've got a good record in the big games. I think it's 3 wins and 1 draw against City, United, and Chelsea this season. Whereas I think in the whole of last season we only got like 1 win and 1 draw or something, which was one of the worst records. And let's see what happens. We'll definitely have to start quicker, and I just hope that we can take it to them early on. The only slight worry I would have is that, for some odd reason, I was reading the other day that Ella Toone and Hayley Ladd were both unavailable for Manchester United. So we know how well Ella Toone's been playing this season, so she could carry a major threat. Hayley Ladd's been popping up with the goals, and Yeah, I mean, I've also got a question. Who was the last player to score against Manchester United in the league this season? Any ideas?
Casey. Oh, sorry, no, not for us.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
Casey, really?
Casey was the last
They've
time they
not conceded a goal in the league. They've not conceded a goal since then.
They've not conceded in the league since Katie. No.
Wow.
I was staggered by that stat as well. I thought they played only four league games since then, but they haven't conceded.
Yeah, that's true.
It was the first time they'd conceded it since November. So I mean, they've really solidified it at the back. But let's hope we can take it to them from the off and start just be in their faces, and hopefully we can get the 3 points. But as the games have gone prior to this, I mean, it might be only with the odd goal that settles it. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely going to be a very tricky night. And we've got Riddy in the chat there says, evening, chaps. Evening, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. And Terry says there, I was just going to say, with questions before the electric goes too late.
He's just obsessed about the electric.
It does keep going light and dark, actually.
It's a bulb. I actually told you yesterday that actually the bulb went and it only got replaced today. So
did it? Well, you need to replace it again, I think. But anyway, like we said last week, we need to have a whip round, maybe get a GoFundMe page for a new lighting for Amar for a Friday. Yeah. But no, I mean, it is going to be a really important, exciting game. I'm sure it will, and it's going to be tense. I know that much for a fact. And the early kickoffs aren't always the best games generally, are they? Which is unfortunate, but hopefully that won't really affect us too much. I mean, I suppose we are going to have to try to come up with a score prediction for this game, which is going to be a tough one to call because, you know, I mean, Amar's right. They're not conceded goals. They haven't conceded a goal in the league for a long time. I didn't realise that. So, yes, Chelsea did score 3 past them the other night. One thing is, actually, I heard that although their goalie got sent off, Sophie, she's not suspended for this game. I don't know why. I read somewhere. On the Man United website earlier on that she's not suspended. Apparently, is it only the League Cup she's suspended from then, or is it?
Well, they're out that now, so maybe it's rescinded in that way. I don't know. No idea.
Anyway, I'm not really sure, but I did read that on their website, so I'm sure Mary Oaks will play regardless.
Sorry, it does say on their preview, that she is available, which is a bit of a strange one. I would have thought.
Yeah. She should be suspended, shouldn't she? But anyway, I mean,
it's a weird one. Yeah.
It's unlikely that she'll probably start the game. But anyway, you know, I just wondered why she was allowed to play when she got sent off in the last game. But anyway, I suppose it matters too much. So score prediction, Andreas. What are you going to predict for this game? You know, it is such a big game, isn't it? We can't really afford to drop any points. Looking how the league is, but we'll talk about the other big game on Sunday as well in a minute. But what's your score prediction going to be for this one?
You can't compare the United right now with them at the beginning of the season.
No.
They are in a very good run now, and they lost 2-0 at home against us, but they also lost 1-6 against Chelsea at home. And 2 days ago, they were very close at Kingsmeadow for a draw. So what I want to say is it's a totally different team. They found themselves, they got their rhythm, and they have a good run. So I would be very happy if we win 1-0, and that's my prediction, because I don't see us score many goals in the last matches, and maybe we will score 1 goal, and I hope this will be enough. So let's say 1-0. I would be very satisfied with this.
Yeah, no, without a doubt, I would take a 1-0 all day long. Andy's in the chat there. He says 2-1 to Arsenal. Well, that would be nice as well. Yeah, 2-1 would do us definitely. We wouldn't complain with that. Matt, how many goals are you predicting that we'll lose by this week?
Well, it's an interesting one because Chelsea have got City this weekend.
They have,
so
exactly,
if City do win, that would be a huge boost. So I am going to be safe and say 1-0 United, but I'm always wrong anyway. So.
Let's hope you keep that run going, because we don't want that to be the score, but we understand that your predictions tend to go that way, so that's fine. What are you predicting then against Man United tomorrow? Obviously, important game. We need to win. Are we going
to? Yeah, I mean, hopefully we can build on the second half against Brighton, but we'll have to be on it from minute 1. I think it'll be tied like it is. Maybe not as many goals as I predicted earlier. I think 2-1. Hopefully Tobin does what she did to City, comes off the bench and haunts her former club. So let's go 2-1 Arsenal.
That would be very, very nice indeed. Terry says there he's back in. He's back in 77-4. Again, you see that reverse psychology thing might work again. But really, it's being a little bit more sensible. Says 2-0 again, the same as the away league. That'd be nice. Same as last season as well. I would certainly take that. I kind of quite fancy a 2-1. Actually, I must admit, I do fancy a 2-1. I think Andy said it in the chat. Amar said it as well. I kind of fancy a 2. I think United will probably score, but I think we'll just nick it 2-1, and I'm sure we'd all be delighted about that if that's the case. But as Matt said there, we sort of, there is another big game this weekend on Sunday, of course, Chelsea against Manchester City. And there's an opportunity. It could be a big weekend for us because I know Chelsea are at home, but Man City are in great form. They played well the other night against Tottenham in the Cup. They're looking good again. I mean, we did well to get a draw against them a few weeks ago. But if anybody's going to take points off Chelsea looking at the rest of their fixtures, this is one of the games where you'd think there's an opportunity that Chelsea might drop a point or 2 or 3. And it could be a big opportunity for us. If we were to win, Chelsea drop points, then that gap increases again. This is going to be a really, really big game again, isn't it? 2 massive games this weekend in the WSL. I mean, it's great. It is great stuff. I mean, and Andreas, do you think that Man City could? I mean, it would be doing us a favour, doing themselves a favour as well. They want to get into the top 3, but do you think they can do us that favour and get a win even away at Chelsea?
City is the team that has currently the best run, the best rhythm currently, and of course it's possible, but Chelsea will say the same. It's a big weekend for them too. If they beat City and maybe United takes a point or win at Meadow Park, it would be a massive weekend for Chelsea. So it's a chance for us, a chance for them, but also a chance for City for the third Champions League spot, and maybe their last chance to get back to the title race if United wins and if they win. Everything would be possible then. So I saw the City match against Tottenham, and it was really impressive how City played. Tottenham had no chance. When you saw this League Cup semi-final, you could not imagine how Spurs were able to win in the league at City. They won 2-1. Unbelievable. No chance yesterday. City was really in great form. There was one single chance for Spurs in the first half when it was 0-0. But you see, Ellie Roebuck is back. She was playing wide outside of the box, and if she because she was out there, maybe this prevented the Spurs striker to score a goal. So City is really in a good lead, and Chelsea was good against United, but they also have their problems. I saw many matches from Chelsea in last weeks. They always had their problems to score. Now Sam Kerr is back from the Indian Cup. It will make them strong, but they are still missing G. She's playing the final with Korea, and Melly Leupold's still out with long COVID. Magda Eriksson is out injured. I could imagine that we'll see a draw between Chelsea and City, and if we win, this would help us extremely.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like at the minute that the title race is swinging one way and the other way. We're dropping points, then Chelsea are winning, and then we're winning and Chelsea are dropping points. And this is a big weekend, obviously, with basically the top 4 clubs. Essentially, I know Tottenham are in there in the league positions, but you look at these are the top 4 clubs in the WSL playing against each other on the same weekend. So it's going to be a really, really big weekend. I mean, Matt, how do you see that the Chelsea City game going? I kind of agree with Andreas. I kind of fancy a draw, which maybe would be good because they both drop points, and don't they? But only if we win. We play first, of course, which makes it more difficult because we don't know that result. We've got to win our game, and then we can relax on Sunday and watch that with a little bit more, with our feet up, maybe enjoying it rather than the stress of hoping that Chelsea drop points. I mean, what are you anticipating then, Matt, for this one?
Well, I think first of all that City are going to want to come out and win these games. They realise now that they've got grounds, they've made up ground, a lot of ground, to be honest, over the last couple of months. I mean, at one point they were 10 points behind us. I think it was even higher at some stage. And they've come. I think it's the fact they've got Steph back, Lucy Bronze as well. 2 brilliant players. I think what's going to be key for whoever wins this race for the title, it's going to come down to, I think it will be between how we go about these next two, technically a week next week when we go to Chelsea, because if City go and win against Chelsea or get a draw, they won't be happy about it, especially if they lose, because that means they've got lost Champions League football, and that basically gives it to Man United. If Man United pick up a point, they've guaranteed Champions League football, and somehow if Tottenham are just there at the moment, as they are. But it's important to know that this race, I think this has been the most intriguing race for a while. No disrespect to Chelsea and Man City, but the fact that this season has had twists and turns with COVID issues, injuries left, right, and centre. Leicester and Birmingham as well at the bottom, scrapping to try and stay in this league. This has probably been one of the best WSLs, and Sky probably turned around going, you know what, we got a brilliant deal out of this. And so BBC and the FA player as well. So credit to them. But to be honest, if you're just coming in to watch these games and you're realising how well then I think you look no further than this weekend. They got the match against United, the City, Chelsea. It's all going to be to play for. So it will be an interesting one to watch. But I think I see City winning that, just because I just think that. Well, I think it will be a huge confidence boost for them. If we do get something against United, then I think we'll take that as a positive. As long as Chelsea don't get any points and we get something, then I'll be happy. Put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, this could be a pivotal weekend actually. I know next weekend as well when we play Chelsea, which we'll come on to. But yeah, I mean, it is going to be very interesting to see exactly. Obviously, they will know our result before they play, and I do think that's an advantage, especially if we've dropped points. Hopefully we haven't, but if we've dropped points, then it gives both Chelsea and Man City an extra incentive to win that game, because they can claw close. Obviously, Chelsea will be able to, really get back in it. So it is going to be a fascinating game, that actually. And I agree, this weekend, if anybody's got any doubts left as to what women's football's about, especially the WSL. If you're not quite sure yet about women's football and you think, has it improved in recent years? I suggest that tomorrow you watch the Arsenal Man United game, and then Sunday watch the Chelsea Man City game, and you will see exactly how good the football is in the WSL at the top level of women's football. You'll see exactly how good the football is. And I think that might be enough to convert you into wanting to watch it more regularly. I do feel that these two games are going to be absolutely fantastic games of football, and hopefully the two results go Arsenal's way. That's what we hope for, of course. I mean, Emma, what are you anticipating in Chelsea City? Do you think City, it's never easy going away to Chelsea. They don't lose many at home today, let's be honest. I know their only defeat last season was at home, funnily enough, but generally they're pretty strong at home, aren't they? Do you think City can get a result? I mean, a draw wouldn't be a bad result for us if we won, would it?
Yeah, well, as you say, it's an advantage playing first. With 9 points clear of City, it could be 12 by the time they kick off against Chelsea on Sunday lunchtime, or Sunday afternoon, or whenever the kick-off is. Yeah, the pressure will be on both. But I look back at a recent record and look at it. And City's only wins against Chelsea since they won the title in 2016. We're both in cup competitions. In fact, the last time they won at Chelsea in the league was when they were playing at Old Ground in Staines back in May 2016, and Jen Beattie was playing for City. So it was like a lifetime ago. But the good thing for them is they're in good form and they look a lot more solid. They've got players in form, and the likes of Hayley Rasso and Kennedy and one or two others will be back for them from the Asia Cup. But the thing is, Chelsea are so strong at home, and they just know how to win the big games. They have that know-how. Emma Hayes is a born winner, whereas I'm not sure you can say the same about Gareth Taylor, where he's got the tactics. Has he got it within him to tactically outdo somebody as masterful as Emma Hayes has been doing for so long? But it'd be nice if they could get something. But it's difficult to know. But I hate to say it, but I just can't. I can see the trend continuing in Chelsea probably ending their title chances. But we'll hope for better.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point there, actually. I mean, I know Man City haven't got a particularly good record against Chelsea. I mean, when they played earlier in the season away at City, I know City had a few injury problems, and of course the goalkeeper made a horrendous error in the first minute to gift Chelsea an early goal, and that's the worst thing you can do when you're playing Chelsea. But Man City played quite well in that game, actually, despite the injuries that they had, and they gave it a good go. They're unfortunate maybe not to get back in it, and in the end they did lose quite comfortably. But obviously now with players back from injury, better form, that I think they've got a good opportunity to get a result in this game. But Chelsea, we know Chelsea are relentless, as you say. Emma Hayes does know how to generally get results in the big games when it matters. So she'll definitely have her team lined up right, and she'll have them prepared properly for this game. So it'll be an interesting game actually. But I hope that we can watch it a little bit more relaxed now that we've got the 3 points, and we can then be cool about that game. It won't be so much pressure then. But there's some big games going on recently. I mean, we played City, we're playing United, we've got Chelsea to come. Chelsea playing City.
United play City next weekend.
We're playing Chelsea, the Manchester derby next weekend. So it's a really exciting time in the WSL. Actually, a lot of big games, and the next couple of weeks or so are probably going to decide a lot of things in the league. Who's going to win the league? Who's going to get top 3 and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting stuff. We've got someone from Italy, actually. Lamin there watching from Italy.
Good evening, Lamin.
Whereabouts in Italy are you? I love Italy. We went to Sorrento a couple of years back, and that was really nice.
I went to Lake Garda a few years back as well.
Yeah, we want to go to Lake Garda, actually. Yeah, is that nice, is it?
No, it's really nice. So some of the scenery there is superb. Yeah.
It looks nice.
Oh.
Chelsea fan. It was just as things were going well, and he was from Italy, and we were loving him because he was from Italy. And now Chelsea. Well, anyway, I mean, if someone's got to support Chelsea at the end of the day, we welcome everyone on this show. We just hope we lose out on Sunday. But anyway, talking about that, actually, of course, unfortunately, because they've moved the game next week to a Friday evening, of course, which they should have realised that it's our show night, and they can't play on our show night because it spoils everything. I don't know what
we'll have to watch it all together, might we? We'll have to watch it all together.
Well, it's Sky, isn't it? Have messed us about here with its lark. So
we just do it on a Saturday or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they should have put the game on a Saturday or Sunday, shouldn't they? Really, but anyway, it is next Friday evening. So actually, this time next week, we'll all be quite nervous. I'm sure watching the game. It's going to be a very tense evening, I'm sure, but it's going to be a good game. So because we won't be able to fit another show before then, because on Thursday, of course, the men are playing against Wolves, so we can't even move it to Thursday now. So we're going to have to do it now. We're going to have to look ahead to what could be the pivotal game of the WSL season. Of course, our recent league form away at Chelsea hasn't been great, has it? Since that big win sort of 3 years ago, wasn't it, when we scored? Was it 5, wasn't it? Unbelievable game that was. But since then, we've been well beaten every time we've played it, unfortunately. But this time, I'm a little bit more confident, actually. The reason being, one is because Jonas does seem to have been able to get results in the big games this season, as we've said. We beat Chelsea at home, we beat Man City at home, we got a draw at City, we won away at United, and I'm kind of think he'll have us well organised for this game. I think Chelsea, Emma, I know they beat us in the FA Cup final, but I think she'll be a little bit weary because of what we did to them in the league, and we're not in the greatest of form, I know, but we have away at Man City, I thought we played really well. We're unlucky not to win that game. If we produce another good performance like that away from home, we'll have a hell of a chance of getting a result. I mean, a draw would be fantastic, but I mean, I'm nervous thinking about the game already. We've got another game to play before then. Every time I just think about this game, I've been thinking about it for weeks, and it's like, this is so big, isn't it? This is going to be, for me, regardless of what happens this weekend, 2 big games, as we said, but to me, next Friday night's game is the game of the season. It's almost like the old Premier League games between Arsenal and Man United back in the day when they were the games of the season. This is the game of the season that's remaining, isn't it? Yeah. Whoever wins this game is going to win the league. I think that's pretty clear, isn't it? I mean, Andreas, you must be excited and nervous at the same time about this game next week.
Yeah, but it's early to think on this match or to concentrate this. Just concentrate on the United match. I heard the podcast from Tim Stillman, and he also discussed the question: is the season over after the Chelsea versus Arsenal match? Is the title race over after this? and he came to the conclusion, no, it's not over, and I agree with that. Of course, this weekend can be decisive for next weekend. If everything goes perfect for us and we beat United and Chelsea loses against City, then
pressure on them, yeah.
And then winning at Kings Meadow, the title race would have been over, of course, yes, but so far it's only a dream. So I think these both weekends are very decisive for the title race. The day after, or 2 days after our match at Kings Meadow, it's the Manchester Derby.
Yeah.
So everything is possible in these 2 weekends, and it will be a fantastic match of 2 fantastic teams. Also, Chelsea has the better run so far. We don't know what tomorrow or on Sunday happens, but so far Chelsea seems to have the better run. Sam Kerr, Frank Kirby, Jesse Fleming, Pernilla Harder. Harder is playing a fantastic season, I have to say. She's at her best, like I know her from Wolfsburg. Her first season at Chelsea, she wasn't so good, but they are really difficult to defend. And our attacking line was not the best. We didn't create too many chances. We didn't score many goals. So my feeling is not the best for next Friday. But as I said, it's too far to say something definite about the match. Everything is possible. Everything depends on the 2 matches at this weekend, I think, especially for what is going in their minds. Self-confidence, trust in their own possibilities, and it's difficult, but of course it will be a fantastic match.
Yeah, I mean, it is going to be a fantastic match. I think that match is clear, and it's certainly going to be a tense match as well. I mean, you say Chelsea are in better form. They maybe are, but in the WSL, they've been struggling for goals a little bit, haven't they? 0-0 against Brighton. They lost 1-0 against Reading. I know they were both away from home, and it's slightly different at home. But I mean, I don't know. I'm not unconfident about it. I don't think we're going to go win 3-0 or anything like that. But I think it's depending on the results this weekend. But I kind of feel it's at a good time for us. We're going to be a lot stronger defensively than we were certainly at Wembley. With if Leah's and Rafael Souza partner each other, I'll be confident that I know Chelsea's front line, as you rightly say, are dangerous. We know how dangerous they can be, but I think defensively we're going to be a lot more organised, a lot more stronger, and I think we can cope against their attack to a certain. It's going to be hard to keep them from scoring, but I think we can cope a lot better now. I think we'll be a lot better prepared defensively this time than we were certainly the last time we played Chelsea. So I'm not too I'm not sort of feeling too worried about it. I'm just kind of nervous and excited and tense about it already, but it's going to be such a good game. I mean, Matt, obviously, what are you anticipating from the game? I mean, I know this weekend's going to, as Andreas rightly says, he's going to have a lot of say on how all the teams approach that game next week, what kind of frame of mind they're in more than anything. But do you think, I kind of think that depending on the results this weekend and next weekend, the title race could be over. If we win and Chelsea lose tomorrow this weekend and then we beat Chelsea, you have to say that gap would be, I think it would be over if that's the case. Yeah. But I'm not anticipating that's necessarily going to happen. But I still think there'll be a lot of twists and turns to come, because there has been all season, hasn't there? Unexpected results. Yeah. Big teams dropping points, like we lost to Birmingham, Chelsea lost to Reading and drew with Brighton and stuff. So, I mean, Matt, what are you thinking? Do you think that, obviously it's going to be a massively important game for both clubs, but how are you feeling about this game? Obviously, and that's at this moment.
No. I think everything from nervous to I think my hands are even sweating thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I think for a long time I've gone into like men's games being nervous about not just it'll be any game, and I think it's really weird. Even on that opening day of the season, I was really nervous. Deciding to watch it, first game of the season at the Emirates. You're playing one of your rivals. It's just one of those things that you think maybe the crowd can settle you down. You're at home, you can relax a little bit more. But because you're now going to their backyard, they're probably going to be more relaxed than us. Say, for example, they lose to City on the Sunday. If that happens, then I think they might start to be more nervous.
I do. Yeah, definitely.
They haven't lost a game in the WSL at home all season yet. So their main points dropped have been away from home. So will anything that we can do to upset them a little bit, hinder their chances of another WSL title, because I think that they shouldn't be having 3 on the bounce or 4 on the bounce. I don't know how many on the bounce it is, because one was a COVID season.
Too many already, so they don't need any more. Exactly, you're right.
And City have been up there for a long time, so it's about time that Arsenal got their act together and started building a strong team. And I think this could only be the beginning. Maybe in the next couple of years, we might see similar sort of things in the table. We might see a few fairy tales along the way. But it'll be interesting to see how this goes. But yeah, I'm 100% nervous. I'll be working on the Friday, coming back, and I'll probably be shaking like a tree before the game, like trying to turn the remote on, and my hands will be shaking like anything.
No, it's going to be a very, very tense night. There's no doubt about that. Andy's in the chat. He says, "I hope Tobin and Stina will be in form against Chelsea. 2 big game players plus Viv and Beth. What an attack!" Yeah, I mean, exactly. What an attack. Obviously, Andreas was just bigging up Chelsea's attack, rightly so. But we've not got a bad attack ourselves. When they click them, I know obviously Stina's a new player in. Tobin's just back from injury. We haven't actually seen them all together yet. I don't know whether we ever will. It's quite an attacking team that'd be.
What will be interesting is to know whether or not G and Iwabuchi will be back in time, because they play on the Sunday for the Asia Cup.
Yeah, they may be. Whether they'll be ready to play, I'm not sure. But yeah, that'd be interesting to see. Terry there put a comment in about the Man United game. Against Middlesbrough, and then he says,
Ronaldo missed it.
Ronaldo missed it. So not that we're bothered about them in the FA Cup. The FA Cup's dead to us because we're out of it, so we don't care. But it would have been nice if Man United got knocked out.
Typical Terry.
But Terry, it is typical Terry, but it's all good fun. So yeah, I mean, I'm obviously, it's. I'd say I don't even like thinking about playing Chelsea because how difficult it is generally. But we did beat in first game of the season. We need to remember that. We need to take a lot of optimism out of that game because we did a job on them tactically. And I know Emma's maybe feels she's learned a lesson from that she'll put into practice maybe. But hopefully, Jonas can do it again. Are you kind of fairly confident that we can get? I mean, I think a draw. I think we'd take a draw, wouldn't we, next week?
Absolutely.
We would actually take a draw, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I think a lot will depend on how we play tomorrow. But the good thing is at least where they've had to play a game like every virtually 3 or 4 days. Well, they have to play Sunday, but they don't have a midweek game, which is good because then we play them on Friday. I think, as you've been saying, I mean, it's always going to be depend on how we do tomorrow. Get a win, put the pressure on, and let's see how they do against City, and then we can start thinking maybe we could get a result there. But I mean, considering our recent record, okay, I know we won there 5-0 a few seasons ago. That was arguably when they were starting to build this current team they got now, and then they went on an unbeaten run for so long. But it's going to be difficult for us. Hopefully, we can get a positive result against United. And as you say, I'd like to add also we've got Ford as well. Caitlin Ford who's back, Steph Catley, who's been impressive for us this season.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
let's not forget them. Mana, I don't know whether she'll be back. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fingers being bitten probably since when we had to win against, not had to win, but since I remember when we played Birmingham, which was a big game in the race for the title back in 2018-19 season. Yeah. And we ended up getting a good result there. So, I mean, let's see what happens. But, as you say, I think if we get any result there, it would be good. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, I mean, I think the important thing is not to lose any more ground. If we lose ground this week, we can't afford to lose ground next weekend. So a draw would be the minimum that we would need from that game. Terry's got a comment here. He says, going back to Matt's comment, he says, shaking like a tree. Give us a demonstration, please. Never seen a tree shake. Well, did you see that wind last weekend, Terry? All the trees were shaking.
Yeah, where are you? Are you in the north?
You're in the that's how much they were shaking. Yeah. He must have missed the wind last weekend because that was ridiculous, wasn't it? I mean, trees were going around. Was it like that? Was it like that in where you were, Andreas? Was it really windy last weekend? Because we had it was terrible here.
Oh, in the north, it was terrible. I know.
Yeah, it was really bad. Was it like that in Germany, Andreas, or did you have a nice calm weather?
He doesn't care. He wants to talk about football.
Yeah, it was windy last week. And the trees were shaking last week, Terry. I'll say that much. They definitely were. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, obviously, a really, really big game that is next week. It is going to be great stuff, and it's just a shame they've moved it to the Friday. I'm still annoyed about that, but anyway, it is what it is. We'll have to just put up with it, and we'll have to enjoy the show. We'll have to put it back a week and come back the week after and talk about all the stuff that's going on.
Come back in 2 weeks. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's just unfortunately they decided to put it on the wrong night for us. But anyway, we need to write to Sky and say, you need to remember in the future that we're on a Friday. We can't, so Arsenal can't be playing on a Friday night because it's just no good. But yeah, I mean, this is going to be for me the biggest week of the season, isn't it? Without a shadow of a doubt, I think for everybody actually. For the WSL, it's probably the biggest week, isn't it? With this weekend and next weekend, the games of, I don't know whether they kind of organised a fixture list to be like this to build some excitement during a time when the men aren't playing due to the winter breaks and the FA Cup and what have you. So it's kind of worked out quite well in that sense. Hopefully, the WSL can get a really big audience next 2 weeks and people can maybe start to, get more involved with it because it is great. It's just a shame that some of the kickoff times don't help. We said it before, the family atmosphere and all that kind of stuff. I don't think an early kickoff on a Saturday is ideal, is it really for family? Are you going on tomorrow, Amal?
Yeah, I think I might be going actually, but unfortunately, as much as I would have wanted to do a vlog, I don't know. My phone keeps playing up at the moment. I can't even record anything. So maybe I'll try to do my best I can. But yeah, I think I might be going.
Okay, that'd be good. Yeah, if you can, it'd be brilliant. I mean, just make sure you got some light going on. That might be good. As well. But it'll be daylight.
I don't even know who pays the bills here. But anyway, it's fine.
It's a daylight game anyway, so it's not a night game. So
no, 12:30. It'll be good to get back in. Hopefully, have a good crowd behind them. So let's see. And United's fans are like situated behind that goal on the right as well. So
yeah, there should be a big crowd in. I would have thought tomorrow because it is a big game and it is against Man United, who always tend to attract big crowds, don't they? Terry says they should have put these 2 games on BBC or ITV. Well, it's BBC that have. I don't think ITV show the women's games, do they? So it has to be.
ITV only shows the Lionesses. ITV only shows the Lionesses.
The international games. They'll probably have the Euros as well.
I mean, I think the Chelsea Man City game's on BBC, isn't it? BBC.
So is it Manchester Derby.
Yeah, the Manchester Derby. Yeah. But Sky, obviously, we're on Sky quite a lot because we're the bigger pull, aren't we? On Sky, that's why, because we're the biggest club in women's football. So Sky want us, and they let they'll let BBC have all the little teams like Chelsea and Man United and Man City. So obviously, Sky will have us because we're just better. So, but yeah, it's a shame that they are, obviously moving these kickoff times as we've said, really, which is a shame. But ultimately, it is what it is. I mean, looking ahead then finally to tomorrow's game again. I mean, Andreas, are you expecting there to be some players fit again who was unavailable last week? Obviously, Stina in particular is one we're looking forward to seeing a little bit more of. Do you think she might start this game? Because we're not sure about Viv at the moment, are we? How she's feeling after the last couple of games?
Yeah, but we don't know whether Stina was back in training. I saw training pictures, but she wasn't among them. So I hope she will be in the squad, but I don't think she'll start. So maybe he will give Tobin a start because she had massive impact when she was playing, and she should be fit for 90 minutes now. I hope so. And in the back line, it will be Leah and Raffaele. I'm sure they will start together. It's difficult, but we should be self-confident, and we are at home. We must be the attacking part. We must be the active team, and not react on what United is doing. So therefore, I would bring Beth, Viv, Tobin, and Caitlin should be back. I think she was back in training at least.
Yes.
There's the possibility that Steph could be left back. Then Katie would be free for an offensive part. I hope that we will play very offensive and try to be the active part, pressing them and create a lot of chances in the first half, not waiting and reacting, because United is in a good run and we shouldn't give them the chance to find their rhythm in this match. So bring on more attackers would be my advice.
I mean, we should at least have a bit of a stronger bench, shouldn't we, tomorrow than we have done in the last couple of games? Because, like you said, players are back. The Matildas are back, which is good, and one or two injuries look as though they're back as well. So we should hopefully have a full bench, some quality on the bench to come on as well, which we haven't really had the last couple of games. And you can see that we've missed that as well. I think not having those options to change a game, which it's always been. Jonas always said how important that is, isn't it? The players that finish the game are just as important as the ones who start the game, and he's been big on. The substitutes having a big impact. So we have missed that, and hopefully tomorrow we should have a stronger bench, and we may be able to make some changes in the game to change things if we need to. I mean, Matt, do you think in midfield, because obviously we're expecting like Leah and Rafael Souza to play in defence, do you think in midfield he'll go with sort of Frida Marnham and Leah Walty, the two more defensive players, and let Kim go further forward, because she's been playing a little bit further back, hasn't she, in recent games? She's not getting forward to score the goals that we would normally anticipate. Or do you think he might just go for it, maybe put Jordan Nobbs in there as well and add a little bit more attacking options in midfield?
Well, to be honest, I think Jordan's done really well when she's come into the midfield. She's done really well with the defensive work and the attacking work, and that's something that you get from her. It's just a question of if Leah, because a couple of times she's had nearly ankle breakers. I think who were we playing? It was I mentioned it over against City that
the Man City game.
She had her ankle nearly taken out by Georgia Stanway. But it's just one of those things. I think if we go too defensive, we're inviting pressure. And considering what happened when Leah was out and we were captain calamity left, right, and centre, balls bouncing off each other, handing goals, or give almost here's a Christmas present a bit early to the opposition. It's just one of those things that we think that it will be interesting, because if we go all attacking, we're going to need someone to sit and be that defensive midfielder. I don't know. Obviously, Kim's going to be playing in that centre mid. If Leah plays in that centre mid as well, it's then a case of who plays. Is it going to be Jordan? Is it going to be Frida? I think Frida would probably enjoy it a little bit more, because you'll be able to have that freedom to go attacking and defensive. But I think I would trust Jordan more because of her experience at this moment. But it'll be interesting to see, because it'll be similar with the Aussies. If the Aussies have picked up any injuries or anything, they might be doing just a quick assessment on them just to make sure they're fully recovered and everything. It's a hard one to call. That's for sure.
I mean, I think the team lineup's going to be very interesting, isn't it? Actually, I'm not sure if Caitlin or Steph Catley are going to be ready to start the game straight away, having flown back from the Asia Cup. I'm not sure if they're quite ready yet to go straight into the.
They are in the training pictures though.
They've been training, so I think they'll be on the bench possibly. I'm not sure if they're ready to start. When we'll see. I mean, possibly, but I'm not 100% certain that they will. And he says, I read in a match preview that we get players back from illness and now have one or two new ones. COVID. I did see that. Obviously, Jonas did say that, didn't he? But we've seen, most of us have seen the training picture, so we kind of see who's been training and who hasn't. So we'll kind of be able to get an idea of it roughly. But the starting lineup tomorrow is going to be interesting, because we've got virtually everybody seems to be fit, don't they? Almost everyone in the squad now seems to be fit and available. Hopefully, they say one or two illnesses, but he seemed to make out, from what I was gathering, that there wasn't important players that were missing. It was maybe one or two of the squad players, maybe if that's, or was he just playing mind games? Who knows? Is everybody fit really, and there's no illnesses at all? But anyway, what are you anticipating for the lineup then, Amar? Do you think that it obviously the midfield is the concern for me, because that's where I don't think we've quite got the balance right in recent games, and maybe that's why we've struggled. You know, Kim's not playing the same kind of role she was earlier in the season when we were scoring more goals. She's dropped deeper, and although she's done a great job there, it's taken something away from the team, hasn't it, attacking wise? So do you think tomorrow he might say, right, let's do what we were doing before, get Leah and Leah and maybe Frida there, and then she can push on, Kim can push on, and maybe take Jordan out, or would you keep Jordan in the team?
Yeah, it's a difficult one to go with, really. But I may be with the regards to defense. I don't know, because the way, I don't know, we call her Hafa now, isn't it? It's not Rafa. I think it's Hafa or whatever it is. But I think
we were told last week. Yeah, we were given a lesson last week, wasn't we? Yeah,
she can possibly, if Steph and Caitlin are not fully maybe rested after their exertions in the Asian Cup. Maybe in Asian Women's Cup, maybe then Hafa could play left back, and then I don't know, centre back. Maybe I'm guessing Lotta could play in with Leah or whoever else. I don't know, because I don't know. Jen, as we know, has been a little bit off the pace, and Leah. Well, I don't know if Leah will be 100% fit because of she's been recently right back as well. I'd still keep Maritz. I think she's been absolutely brilliant for us this season.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Zinsberger. And then in the midfield, yeah, that's a difficult one. I always thought under Joe, our best midfield was that trio of Kim, Jordan, and Leah. But it's with Frida coming in, she has given Jonas a few headaches. And maybe, I don't know. It's not hard to see the four of them playing all together. But maybe he'll, as I said, maybe he'll give one or two of them rest and maybe bring them on late in the game. So we'll see. And then going forward, we've got Stina, Tobin, Caitlin, Viv, and Beth. But you can't drop Beth the way she's been playing. No. So I don't know. Maybe he'll put, I don't know. And also Katie McCabe's been playing the left side of the front three as well. So I mean, it's going to be difficult to know. But hopefully he'll figure out his best 11 and go with what's been tried and tested. But whatever happens, it'll be a tricky game, and let's see what happens.
Yeah, it is going to be a tricky game, and I think the lineup's going to be important. Andy says there, we've needed Kim in a more defensive role when Frida been out of form. Yeah, we have. Maybe we have, but the problem is then it's taken something away from our attacking play, I think. You know, them late runs she makes into the penalty, getting on the end of things. She did play a little bit more of a forward role in the game against the Lionesses last week, and she created the goal, kind of proving the point a little bit, really. But it's a difficult one. We've got to get that balance right in midfield, because that's, I think, the next two games are where he's got to get it 100% right with his lineup, hasn't he?
Yes.
And if he does, then we've got a great chance of getting two decent positive results and being in a very good position this time next week. Not quite this time, half an hour or so later on, but we'd be win with a chance of being in a really good position. So that's going to be key for me. And I think there's a lot of not so much pressure on Jonas, but I think he's got a little bit to prove, hasn't he? I think, because we've been struggling. I mean, Andreas, do you think that it's obviously, we know it's a big couple of weeks for Arsenal, but I mean for Jonas in particular, because he hasn't quite made the right decisions in the sort of team setup, I don't think, in the recent games. Would you agree, or do you think maybe we've just been a little bit unfortunate with a few injuries?
I think the problem was that he had not really a chance to react from the bench. It's difficult. Not every match plan works, but the bigger teams have the chance to change things at least at halftime, to bring new players, to change the tactics, to at halftime to say we changed the match plan. But he hadn't had this chance because our bench was really small in the last matches, and that was a problem. And of course, his match plans didn't work as he thought. So, yeah, you're right. He has to prove himself in the next big matches. I think in the first half of the season, Jonas has shown that he's able to coach a team against big teams, against big challenges. And he has a good match plan. The pressing against Chelsea or City in September was fantastic, and I trust that if he has the chance to react from the bench, this gives him a lot more possibilities, even for the starting lineup. If he knows, I start with these 11 players, but if not, then I will change this or that. And hopefully we'll have a better bench tomorrow. We don't know. When I read that we have again new COVID cases, hopefully not really important players. Or
that who's available. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully, most people will be available. I'm certainly getting good vibes that we're going to have a strong team, and hopefully, like you said, some options on the bench. I've noticed recently Jonas's sort of demeanour on the bench has changed. Maybe because the results aren't going so well. Because the start of the season he's very excitable, wasn't he? The Chelsea game we remember, and a few others. And lately, he had that incident against Man United, didn't he, last time when and against Man City with the goal and stuff. And he seems to be a little bit more, a little bit more stressed out and tense. But I guess that's the result of the results that we've been having, I guess, isn't it? As opposed to, he was a little bit more relaxed at the beginning because things were going well. I mean, Matt, have you been a little bit concerned about that? Is kind of the way his demeanour's sort of changed on the touchline, or do you think it's just natural with the way the season's been going recently?
I think we go back. We go back to the cup final, and I know we don't want to talk about much of it, but he seemed so demoralised, and he wasn't as passionate as he usually was. There was the game against Birmingham where it was almost as if to say, "Come on, Jonas, we need something to happen here," and he was just sitting on the bench, not doing anything. He wasn't standing up or doing anything. It was only, I can't remember what was the recent game, the City game. The City game, he was probably the most active I've seen him since. I can't remember how many games I've been to. The United game, I'd probably say, since I've seen him at the United game. That's how active he was.
It was,
But it's huge. I mean, that's the other thing Terry brings up is there's players that are still on the 49 clubs or the record, just about to break the record, and you're thinking, are they going to break it? Maybe that's playing on their mind as well, which is why they're not. They're only getting these 1-0s and 1-alls and at the moment.
I mean, Terry does say there, obviously, he's right when he says that Beth Mead needs one more assist to be all-time assist, breaking Karen Carney. Yeah, I mean, that's going to come, isn't it? I don't think that's playing on her mind particularly because, I don't think it is particularly with her. But, yeah, it'd be nice if she got that against, obviously against United would be nice, but against Chelsea would be even better, wouldn't it? Comes up with a good assist, an important goal against Chelsea next week. I mean, Amar, are you a little bit worried about Jonas, the way he seems to be feeling the pressure now, doesn't he? Quite a lot, I think, in the last few weeks, as opposed to earlier in the season. Maybe because the sun's not shining anymore. I don't know what it is, but he's a little bit more stressed out, doesn't he? Are you a little bit worried about that, or do you think that's maybe affecting the team a little bit? Because it comes from the manager, doesn't it? If the managers are relaxed and players maybe feel more relaxed, they seem to be tense. As he's got more tense, the players seem to have got more tense as well, don't they?
Yeah, I don't know myself what the cause behind that is to be, in all honesty. But I suppose being the first year of such a big job in charge of the most successful team, that will reiterate it. I know we don't get tired of saying it, but the most successful women's team in the history of it, the most successful team in the history of English women's football. It's never going to be easy to take over what was left by his predecessor, who did a very good job himself. And you can see when they step up from where he was managing previously, when he was in Sweden, to what it is now. That's actually a massive step up there's a gulf in class, arguably, between Sweden and this country, if you could say. Maybe I'm not taking it too far, but yeah, I don't know. This maybe the his energy we saw against Chelsea on the opening game of the season, and the style of football has just waned slightly. But I suppose maybe this pressure's got to him. But hopefully we can start seeing more on the touchline, getting into their faces more, egging them on, and hopefully then we can start seeing maybe the sort of performances we saw in the first few months of the season. But for the time being, hopefully he can overcome these difficult moments and it'll start feeding off positively on the team.
I mean, that's the kind of the only kind of negative a little bit for me is the fact that certainly next week we know Emma's been there, done it, got the t-shirt. She knows what these games are about, and she can handle the pressure when it matters. And we're still to see whether Jonas can. So far, the evidence isn't exactly positive, judging by the cup final, as you said, when we just never turned up that day at all. And since then, we haven't quite managed to rediscover it really. So it's a big week, obviously, for Arsenal, but it's a big week. I think it's a big week for Jonas actually in his team selections, in his tactics, and how he deals with these two games as well. And you know, if we come out with two great results, then I think we'll say, okay, yeah, he's passed that test and he's passed it well. But and if he doesn't, and I think again, maybe you make a good point there, Amar, about the step up in league, because the Swedish league's nowhere near as strong as the WSL. It isn't. No. We can't try and pretend that it is. So maybe he's still learning about the league. He's learning about the fact that every single game now in the WSL is a difficult game. You don't get any free hits anymore. Maybe you used to. We saw that against Birmingham, didn't we? You know, you'd imagine we should beat Birmingham and we lost. So it just goes to show, and maybe he's adjusting himself to that. You know, that every single game is 100%. You've got to be 100% focused. You've got to be on the game every single week. You can't afford one slip up or you'll drop points. Chelsea have done it. We've done it. Everybody's done it. And maybe he's got to adjust that as well. So I'm not worried about Jonas. I'm sure he'll be fine. I'm sure he'll make us successful. It's just at the moment, his whole body language isn't filling me with too much confidence. I want him to be, even though we're not playing as well as we were, I still want him to go out there with his chest out. You know, we're the best team. We're going to win. I want to get that feeling from him again, like I did at the start of the season. And you know, I want to see that tomorrow. Him on the sidelines, getting running up and down the touchline when we score goals and things like that. That's what I want to see. Showing that that he believes that we're the best team again, and that's what hopefully he will. Terry says there, fancy asking Amar about being tense, as he's as laid back as MM77.
Oh, trust me, I'm not laid back.
He knew what the word meant. No, Amar, you should have seen Amar at Wembley, mate. He was very tense. As well.
I'm tense while watching our team half the time. You should watch me when I was hiding behind the sofa half the time. But anyway.
Yeah, no, it can be like that, can't it? And I'm sure the next two games are going to be like that, aren't they? We'll all be watching like this, won't we? Probably most of it, and hoping for the best. But
4 points. Hopefully, by this time next week, we'll say we got 4 points out of those two games.
Or 6? Why not 6?
Well, I know 6, but I'll take 4.
Well, yeah, I'll definitely take 4. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, I would take 4. Especially if the 3 were against Chelsea, that would be even better. But yeah, I mean 4 would be nice. Actually, okay, I mean we haven't done a prediction for Chelsea, actually, have we? I suppose we should do, because it is we won't get another show beforehand. So Andreas, what's your prediction? Chelsea away next Friday night. This time we'll be watching the game. Is any of us going to get the score right? What are you thinking? Be positive. Come on, we can win, can't we? Come on.
This time it's just the start of the second half. I think. We are all feeling the pressure, and I think Jonas is feeling the pressure now. He had a fantastic start to his new job at Arsenal with the Champions League qualifiers and everything, but now he's learning the pressure from every single match, and that's also a new situation for him. And as I said, I think he's analyzing quite a lot. Also during the matches, you see him with the iPod.
I've noticed that. Yeah.
I'm sure he would like to react, to change things, but in the last matches he hadn't had the chances to react. As I said, the bench was too small to react. And yeah, let's hope it will be better situation for the Chelsea match. But I want to be optimistic, but I can't say that we are winning. I think this is not realistic. So my score prediction is 2-2, because there are attackers on both sides that are the best in Europe, the best in the world. If you see the attackers from Chelsea, ours, you can't find better attacking lines in Europe. And so there will be goals, and hopefully two for us, and then maybe 2 for Chelsea. We take 1 point. That's my optimistic score prediction.
Well, it would certainly be a good game, wouldn't it? If it finishes 2-2. Let's be honest, I think we'd enjoy the game, and that wouldn't be a bad result ultimately. I mean, I don't really want to ask Matt what his prediction is, but I'm going to anyway.
Yeah, don't take what Terry said.
Terry said there that he says he's with MM77, 8-1 to Chelsea. I mean, that might be not going to be far off.
Oh, God.
Well, actually, I was going to go lower than that. And I was going to say we weren't going to score and 3-0 Chelsea just so that they can't again. But I have a feeling this is going to either end up in a brawl on the pitch, or so. Just one of those feelings, isn't it? A top of the table clash. Someone's going to end up either with getting a face elbowed, and no one's going to get sent off, and then pushing and shoving. Kate McCabe maybe just getting involved in it just because she can, winding them up a little bit. It's got almost the taste of a classic, almost like the Arsenal men and against the Man United men, a couple of like early 2000s, proper go at him, and there'll be no prisoners holding back. But yeah, that's the curse that I'm going with. I lost 3-0.
Well, that was last season's result, wasn't it? In this fixture away at Chelsea. So that was also in February, actually. But anyway, yeah, we don't really want to repeat.
Yeah, don't you? It was on the 10th. Yes, it was on the 10th of February.
We don't really want to repeat that, because that was a really poor Arsenal performance. That last season's game against Chelsea away, wasn't it? I know we were in a bad moment at that time, but Emma, what are you thinking? Are you going to be a little bit more optimistic than Matt? I'm sure you are. Most people are in the world. I'm sure you're a lot more optimistic.
Funny enough, I was actually going to say the same as Andreas. Yeah, but I mean, if you think about last year, we had all kinds of problems with games being rescheduled, cancelled. We played City and Chelsea back to back, and we hadn't played one game in 7 weeks. This time at least we got more games under our belt. And as I said, a lot will depend on the United game and how Chelsea play against City. But if we can go there, take it to them, I think why not? We can go there, hopefully get a draw. It's the league's two best defences, just 13 goals conceded, and to score 62 between them. So either we're going to be in for a real cagey affair, where the odd goal possibly decides it, or maybe we could be in for a thriller. So let's see. Why not? Let's go for a scoring draw, but probably 1-1 or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of us are maybe feeling a draw, perhaps, was the more likely result.
Oh, and let's hope we get good officials too.
Well, yeah, no, we do hope for good officials, but that's probably a bit optimistic. Andy says, I feel a bit nervous a few weeks ago, but feel better about it now. Defence looks solid, more solid, for example. No, it does. I'd like to think we are over our bad little run. Yeah, we've certainly we're getting better, aren't we? I think you can see that. I think the Brighton second half to me was maybe the factor in the fact that we seem to have turned the corner a little bit now. And yes, we can't really read too much into the Lionesses game, because it was a championship side in the FA Cup. We had one or two issues, but we went out and we did win the game. And back-to-back wins, I think, is important, actually, anyway. And no matter how you play, who you play against, back-to-back wins after the run we've been on. So, I kind of agree. I think defensively we are looking a lot more solid now. We should look even more solid tomorrow with Leo and Raphael or however you say it. Raphael's in the team. So hopefully, we will be more solid defensively. I think we're going to have to be, aren't we? Certainly against Chelsea, because we know what a threat they are. I'm actually going to go for a draw as well. I'm confident we can get a draw, but there's a little part of the back of my mind saying we can actually go there and win. And I do feel that, but equally we could lose just as much. So I'm going to sit on the fence and go for a draw, because I think maybe Andreas is right. 2-2 could be a good score, because it is two good attacking teams, isn't it? But who maybe do have problems defensively. But I think our defense is better than theirs now. I think the players that we've got, our defense is stronger than their defense. So maybe we can nick it 2-1. Who knows? Maybe we can. But we'll see. Seri says ref hat-trick, one penalty and a miles offside, one handball, and Paris with a miss kick, 8-1. Yeah. Well, I mean, the referee might want to get involved again, because obviously they like getting involved in our games, don't they, with assists and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. Let's hope we don't get that same referee again. I'm sure we won't for a while. I'm pretty sure they won't give that referee to us after the fun and games that happened at Manchester City. So yeah, it's a big week. It's going to be a tense week, an exciting week starting tomorrow. Obviously, early kickoff as well, which is not the best time for me on a Saturday to kick off. If I'm totally honest, I play football on a Saturday morning, so I'll be rushing back to get in time for the game. So hopefully my team can win in the morning, and then the women can do us a favour and win as well. Make it a really good weekend, and then we can relax, I say, on Sunday for the big game, Chelsea against Man City as well. So lots to look forward to this week. Obviously on the channel coming up tomorrow, obviously we're going to watch along. Hopefully I'll be live before kickoff. I'm hoping to go live about 12:15, but depends how quickly I can get back from football. The game don't finish till about 5 to 12, so I've got a bit of a rush to get home. It is about a 15-minute drive, so I'm going to be under pressure a bit to get there if there's a bit of traffic.
You'll be fine, mate. Yeah,
I should make the kickoff, which is the main thing. So look forward to that tomorrow. And then probably actually there's not a lot going on over the weekend. Obviously the men aren't playing, so I probably won't be back until Tuesday for the Tuesday clinic show on 8 o'clock on Tuesday. We'll be looking ahead, of course. Arsenal men are back in action, of course, against Wolves on Thursday, so we'll watch along at that game. And then of course next Friday there won't be an Arsenal women's show, disappointingly. We're very upset about that, but there will be a rather big game instead, Chelsea against Arsenal, of course, which again there'll be a watch along on the channel. So definitely stay tuned for all that. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel and give it a like as well. That would be much appreciated. So Andreas, great to have you back on again. Enjoyed the show. Looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah, of course. Great to be back here, and looking forward to the weekend. Let's hope the best. And on Sunday, I'll attend a live match in Germany, Bayern Munich.
Enjoy.
Starting to the second half of the season at home. So I won't be able to see Chelsea versus Man City, but
is that the Allianz? Is that the Allianz?
Sorry?
Is that the Allianz Arena?
No. At the FC Bayern campus. The Allianz.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Champions League versus PSG in the Allianz Arena.
Oh, brilliant! Oh, that'll be good.
Who are they playing on Sunday?
The team is SC Sant. They are on 11th place in the league, so normally Bayern should win. But it was winter break since beginning of December. And the two last matches were without spectators, no spectators allowed. So we are all hungry to be back in the stadium, and live football in the stadium for the first time.
Yeah. Fantastic. Oh, that'd be great. I'm sure you'll enjoy that. That sounds like a great weekend. Arsenal win, and then obviously you get to watch the game on Sunday. It'll be a great weekend for you, won't it? Fantastic. That'll be good. And obviously then we can all look forward to Friday as well. Matt, as well, did you enjoy the show? Are you looking forward to the weekend?
I'm a bit nervous, obviously, for Saturday. But I'm hoping that we can get a win. It'll be an interesting one because I don't know if I'll be able to see most of it, as I've been invited to an FA Cup game up here, so I'm going to that.
Nice.
What game?
Everton versus Brentford.
Oh, Everton versus
that'd be a good game. Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be a decent game.
That'll be interesting.
Frank Lampard, that'd be exciting. Actually, that'd be a good game. That.
Yes, so I think everyone seems to have their football plans. I was also thinking of doing do a little bit of scouting because Liverpool are playing Coventry at home on the Sunday. So
Nick Cardiff City?
No, Coventry. Coventry United.
Oh, women. Sorry, I thought about FA Cup. Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Championship match.
Yeah. Well, of course, because obviously we play Liverpool in the next round, don't we? We're top of the championship, so we played the team in second place. Now we're playing the team.
Yeah, I was going to say, the team leading.
So if we get through that, we'll be playing a team at the bottom of the WSL because we're going up one at a time.
Birmingham City or Leicester, won't it? So
Leicester beat Chelsea. We'll play Leicester.
Need to figure out where the away end is, so I can turn around to everyone and say, and by the way, if you come into the game, use this area and not these areas.
It's at Tranmere's ground, isn't it? The women's game, isn't it?
Yeah, so that
Brenton Park.
Rather questionable pitch they used to have, which is probably improved now.
Oh no, they sorted it all out now.
I think
it's a much better pitch now, is it?
It looks a lot better than it used to.
It was a disgrace not that long ago.
Yeah, and I think the game's actually they're playing it, aren't they, on the same day as the Carabao Cup final?
Yeah, they kicked it off. I think they put a 12 o'clock kickoff.
So early, aren't they?
Most fans to travel to the Carabao Cup final. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help. It doesn't help the Arsenal women's fans travelling to Liverpool, does it, for a 12 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday? But anyway, again,
it's all right for the Northwest fans or the fans coming from Birmingham or anything like that. But
it's all right for you. It's all right for you because it's just up the road, isn't it? So it's nice. a nice draw from that, actually. You know, get Liverpool away in the cup. Couldn't have worked out better, really, could it? Really, for you. So that'll be good. So it's a good game to look forward to, obviously later on as well. But yeah, it's going to be.
Bring the lottery numbers up for you as well.
Well, yeah, maybe that might be a good idea. Yeah, 777 it'll be, won't it? Because that's right. So Amar as well. You enjoyed the show. Looking forward to the weekend. Obviously, the game tomorrow if you're going.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'll get down there and get the atmosphere. So hopefully, then the girls will get a win. And that'll be probably, I think it'll be the first game I've probably gone to see since we beat Everton back in October. So hopefully, it'll be good. The girls will play well, and we'll put the pressure on the rest of the chasing pack. So yeah, I mean, bring it on, and let's hope we can get the 3 points.
Yeah, and if you get your phone fixed, you can do a nice little vlog for us as well, which would be good.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe we can see if Harry's going. See if we can ask him if he's available, or if anyone else knows anyone going.
Yeah, Harry will probably be going, won't he? I don't know, actually, because it's an early kickoff. I don't know if he does the early kickoff.
Yeah,
because he takes the kids with him and stuff like that, doesn't he? So I'm not sure. I mean, he may be going, but yeah, it's certainly going to be a big weekend of women's football. And it's good, actually, that it comes on a weekend when I know the FA Cup's on, but no one's interested in that anymore. So, you know, it's the WSL gets full coverage this weekend. It takes, like last weekend as well, you know, women's football takes over when there's no men's football, even more so, which is even better. Terry says, great show, Richard, Emma, Andreas, and MMM77. Much appreciated. Come on, you women gooners, and see you all tomorrow. Yeah, see you tomorrow, Terry, hopefully. He says, hit the like button if you're indeed. And Terry says, good night, everyone in the chat and on the panel. Yeah, good night, Terry, as well. See you tomorrow, hopefully. I should be in time for kickoff at least anyway, so enjoy that game. I'm sure we will. So it's been another great show. I'm sure we're on to 17 now, 16 or 17 we've done. It must be something like that. It's lots we've done, and it's
a lot.
It's enjoyable. I still enjoy doing it. It's fantastic chatting to you guys every week. Look forward to it. It seems to be, gets us in the mood for the weekend, doesn't it? Brings the weekend in the right way, and hopefully it'll be a good weekend. And it's just a shame next week we're not going to be able to do the women's show due to the game, but we'll have something more important maybe to do, which is watch the game next weekend, and hopefully you'll be able to watch that, won't you, Andreas, in Germany, will you?
Sorry,
you'll be able to watch the game, won't you? Next Friday.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it will be shown on German TV. It's the big names they are showing those matches live on German TV. I'm optimistic that even the cup match Liverpool will be shown on TV, because TV people will think Liverpool versus Arsenal, this must be a big match. Nobody knows that this is a championship team.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of matches that I can see in German TV, and
are you going to be relying on the FA player if it's not available for you then?
Always another chance for me. And ATA football, you can stream a lot of matches.
Right.
So there are 3 chances for me: FA player, ATA, and the zone Germany.
Yeah. Oh, hopefully, I'm sure between the 3 of you, you should be able to watch the game, which is good.
So can I just quickly add one thing? Yeah, I saw the song you guys sang the other day, so yeah, that was pretty good. So thanks for that.
You saw it finally, did you? Yeah, that was good, wasn't it?
I don't know if I agree with Harry being my dad, but yeah, I'm just
it was fantastic actually. I really enjoyed that. It was a good show.
Yeah, no, it was fun. It was good.
It was good. And talking of songs, actually, Matt, have you got a song for us this week? Did you come up with one for the players?
I have a few.
Here we go.
Just one this week. Do one every week. Just do one this week, and then we'll all get to sing it. I'll be able to sing it tomorrow now at the game.
Zinsberger, she'll save anything. Manuela, the Australian Queen.
Australia.
I was going to say Wall, but
I knew about Lydia.
Wow, that was pretty good actually. So that was Matt's first Arsenal women's player song for the week.
The X Factor one?
That was good. That you're through to the next round. So that's good. You go to boot camp, whatever it's called. So that performance, that was good. So now I've got to sing it tomorrow on the vlog actually in the ground.
Oh, I don't know.
That'll be fun.
As long as I don't run into it, as long as I don't run into those walls.
Yeah, Terry says, if you go mind them big high walls or curbstones that Matt can't get over, yeah, you did run into a few problems. Just don't use Google Maps, because Google Maps is no good. It doesn't take you.
I think I'm being driven there anyway, so it don't matter. So yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll probably be all right then, hopefully. And Andy says, "Good night, all." Thanks for tuning in, Andy. Hopefully, see you tomorrow for the match. Obviously, that's it's 12:30 kickoff. So, I've got a race against traffic tomorrow, but hopefully, I'll be in before kickoff for the game. So please join me for that. It is going to be a massive, massive game. Let's hope Arsenal can get the 3 points and really put the pressure on Chelsea on Sunday. That'll be so good. And then we'll be sitting there with our cigars out on Sunday watching their game. We can be nice and relaxed, thinking we've done our job. It's now over to you. So let's see what happens at that. So it's going to be a good weekend, I'm sure. We're all going to enjoy it. And obviously, Andreas going actually to a live game as well, and Amar as well, of course, at the game tomorrow. So lots of live football going on. I'm going football, Matt's going to Everton. So what a weekend we've got between us. It's going to be a great weekend. Let's hope we can feel this happy sort of on Sunday afternoon after all the games are finished, and we can have enjoyed a good weekend, and we'll all be happy going into next week. So we'll be back for the women's show. Probably have to be 2 weeks now, won't it? Unfortunately, due to one or two issues next week, as we know. But anyway, unless we can maybe try and squeeze one in, maybe some point early the week after. Maybe we'll have to see anyway. But there definitely won't be a women's show next Friday. But there will be a watch along of the Chelsea game, which won't be as entertaining, obviously, but it'll be worth watching as well, I'm sure. So, as Terry said, please give it a like as well before you go, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you tomorrow for the Man United game. Andreas, thank you very much again for coming on. Pleasure as always. Matt as well, fantastic again. Great song that was there. We enjoyed that. Another one next time. You've got 2 weeks this time to come up with for some more, so you've got a bit more.
I've got loads, so I've got
loads. Oh, brilliant. That's for the end of the season at this rate. That'd be good. And Emma as well, thanks for coming on again. Enjoy the game tomorrow. And hopefully, we'll all be happy again. And I say we will speak very soon. I'll see you tomorrow for the game, Man United. Hopefully 3 points for Arsenal. In the meantime, as always, come on, you Gunners. Yeah. Come on, big week. Let's do it. Come on.
Yes.
Jesus said, "Paddy, I'm singing so well, because I've been coming up."